Hey guys, this is Ashish for Technospot.Net, and today we have Lava RS458Q for review. I've been using this mobile from like last 15 days almost, and I've been able to see the different perspective of what the mobile is, what kind of hardware it is, what kind of gaming performance, what kind of music quality you can expect from this. Now this device falls into a low budget phone but has a very decent hardware, so we'll start talking about that. So firstly, take up the display part. Now it's a 4.5-inch display, which is like 480 by 854 pixels. It's FWVGA. It's better than VGA, but it's FWVGA. And then the screen is actually capacitive screen. But overall experience when I actually operate this mobile turned out to be very smooth. I didn't find any kind of lag with this. So keeping in mind it's a capacitive screen, the response of the screen was pretty good, and the overall brightness of the screen also when it comes to reading and everything was fine. But don't expect this to outperform on heavy sunlight, though it was readable when, or it was viewable when I was using this on sunlight, but don't expect it to outperform when it's heavy on sunlight. Another important thing was like if you sweat a lot, the screen might catch those sweatiness or the moisture on the screen, but overall the screen wasn't catching a lot of dirt, which usually happens with some of the capacitive screens. So from that perspective, I sweat a lot, so I know what kind of experience I get when I've used some of the other mobiles which are on the low end phones. It was a lot sweaty and it was a lot of moisture, and that moisture was carrying a lot of dust. Now even the sweat comes up or the moisture comes up on the phone itself, but you won't find a lot of dirt getting attracted towards the phone. Now we'll talk about the build quality. So I'll take this opportunity and I'll tell you about the hardware itself. So that's the 4.5-inch screen. It's a capacitive screen. The back part has a 8 megapixel camera, like you can see here. That's 8 megapixel. That's audio jack. Then there's the back panel, which is a matte finish. Then you have speakers here, and then you have buttons here for volume control, like you can see, and then you have the lock button here. Now there's no camera button, so the only way to launch the camera will be from the screen or the software button here itself. So that's how you actually launch the camera when you want to do that. It's a dual SIM phone, which you can see here. Actually it's marked as, I don't have a SIM here, so it's all getting marked as there's no SIM. So it's a dual SIM phone. If you are looking for a touch screen phone with dual SIM capacitive, probably this will turn out to be a good phone from Android point of perspective. Overall build quality is good. You won't feel the phone is pretty cheap or something like that. Overall build quality is pretty nice. It's not heavy at all, except for the back panel. This back panel is plasticky, so when you take it out, actually be careful with it. Another thing is it fits firmly with the back panel, with the phone itself. So taking this out wasn't easy at all for me. Even I don't want to waste time on demoing it, but it fits very firmly with the phone, so the amount of dust that gets inside the phone is very minimal. Talking about the battery life of the phone lasted for like 16 hours on a regular usage. Means my wife, I gave it to my wife for like 2 or 3 days, and she was using it for calls, and she is a heavy user of WhatsApp. So if you're buying this phone from a WhatsApp perspective, the app runs smoothly, and it went for like around 16 hours straight away on WhatsApp. That's on very normal usage, very regular usage, where you don't play a lot of games, where you don't play a lot of music and all those stuff. And this was on 3G, so remember that kind of stuff, that kind of battery life you get. She uses WhatsApp and Facebook, so these are the only two things she was using. On regular calls, she gets a lot of calls, so on that it lasted for 16 hours. But when I started using it, so I don't use WhatsApp a lot, but I use a lot of Twitter, and then I use a lot of Facebook, and I don't get calls a lot, but there was like normal calls, and I do a lot of gaming and music, and also, so you can see a lot of games are already installed, so I've been playing with those games. So it lasted for like 12 hours, not more than that. So if you're a heavy user, expect that kind of battery life, but if you're a light mode user with WhatsApp and Facebook and all those stuff, you can expect good amount of battery when it comes to regular use. So I gave it to my wife for like 2-3 days, and one of the first complaints she made that the audio quality, when somebody calls in or you're making a call, the audio quality that goes in and out of the phone was pretty low. Even I had talked to her when she was using this mobile, so the kind of volume that was coming in through my phone was low. It was like she was speaking keeping the phone a bit far away. That wasn't the case, but there's some issue with the voice quality. I probably think that can be handled with some of the updates and all those stuff. Now let's talk about the camera. Like I said, there is no hardware button on the camera, so you can expect to launch it like this, and you can take probably, I'll bring my keys here so you can take the photographs and all those things. Now one of the things you will notice is when you actually keep it far away, and you keep it far away, it auto focuses everything. So that auto focusing causes a bit of problem. Like if I don't focus on this and I take a snapshot, that will be a little blurry. But if I focus on it, so I'll just focus on it and I'll take a snapshot, it will come out to be okay. I'll show you a couple of snapshots that I took using this. So this is a image where you can take multiple pictures together. So if you want to showcase somebody what kind of environment you are in, you can do that way. And then you have, they took on the roadside, so the details were okay, but if you zoom in a lot, you will know it's not very good on that. And this was for finding out what kind of detail it is. So the details come in, but it'll go blur if you zoom a lot. Yep. So this is the ship. Like you can see now the images are better. So this is the ship shot I took. So it was actually good. So in daylight, expect a very good quality of picture from this. It has 8 megapixel camera. If you notice, I can just zoom like this, and this is a ship in which we travel regularly. So I will just zoom it to the tires, and you can see the text and all also coming up. Now I'll play you a sample video which I actually took in a ship. So just the video player. So that's the kind of voice cancellation and all. It's not very good at voice cancellation, and if you zoom in a lot, the images get blurry. So that's very far away actually, but at least it gives you an idea on what kind of video quality you can experience. And if you zoom in, this zoom in is done while taking the pictures. These are the macro shots. Actually, macro shots turned out to be very nice actually. If I took a lot of macro shots, and it was like coming out very nicely with that in daylight. So that's the area around my house, all trees and all. You can see now this is the macro shot of the pen I took, so you can see the details are visible actually. And then this I took it in my fridge, so it was like completely dark, and using flash, so you can see the quality of text and all is actually good. Performed very nicely. Right now this is the kind of detail you can expect. I took it from my flower pot. And this is the plant I have. This is on my Almira, so you can see the text and all is fine. This is again a macro shot. This is again completely in dark. Completely in dark. Only thing you need to make sure is you should set a focus and then take a picture. And this is again a macro shot. So overall the picture quality was fine with this mobile. And there are a couple of settings also which I wanted to show you. So you have GPS location, exposure, color mode, scene mode, white balance, and for camera you have face detection, self timer, continuous shot, ISO, and this has also electronic image stabilization. So from software point of view, if you're taking a video which is a little bit shaky, it can be fixed. You can turn off microphone, which is actually good. So if you want a video without any audio around, you can just do that. Then you have time-lapse interval, effects, and video quality settings and all. So overall camera is good from a software perspective also, but don't expect it to compare it to high-end mobiles which have better cameras. From the price point, it's a very nice camera. Now about the game performance. So these are the games which I actually played. Asphalt 7 and Shine Runner was okay, but the Beach Baggy Bits crashed in. Temple Run 2 was okay. So any graphic intensive games will actually crash in that. I have a video, you can follow the link here, for the game performance test. I have done it like for 2 games here, Asphalt 7 and Temple Run 2. Asphalt 7 was a bit laggy, but at the time when it was wrecking up, the cars were wrecking up, or there was a change in the scene, you can see the visible lagginess. But Temple Run 2 was absolutely fine. So don't expect any high intensive games to run very nicely on that. So please follow the link. And for the music quality, the speakers are located here. All kind of music play around. And since this is curved in nature, like you can see here, it's curved. So even if you keep it on a flat surface, you won't be disturbed by the volume cut down, which usually happens for a flat phone. The phones which are very flat on the surface, flat in the back, and you keep it on a flat surface, the voice cuts down very heavily. But this doesn't happen with this phone. However, when you actually use it with your earphones or headphones, the music quality is really nice, even for bass songs and all. But if you play the bass songs on the speakers might rig a bit. You can hear the jazz and the obvious shakiness can be found. So overall, if I have to recommend somebody a phone with a dual SIM phone which has a decent performance and all those stuff, this phone is okay, I would say. At this price point, it's like almost 9K, and you get a dual SIM, you get a processor which is like a quad processor, but it only has 512 MB RAM. So that's one reason why the graphics, intensive games fail. But for music quality and the battery life, like it has 2000 mAh battery life, so that's why you were looking at that kind of long battery life on 3G itself. So overall, I would recommend this phone if you are looking for a phone between 8 to 10K. But again, I cannot compare this phone, so probably as I get more mobiles from Lava, I'll be able to tell you more precisely what kind of difference the handsets have, and what you can expect from the next generation of mobiles. So thanks for watching the video, and if you have any questions about this mobile, please let me know. I can forward your questions to the Lava Mobile PR and get some answers and all those stuff. So thanks for watching. Do subscribe to the video, and subscribe to the channel, and like the video and put your comments on. Thanks for watching.